So I am originally from Dallas, Texas, grew up there in a suburb just north of there. Ended up going to Hopkins for university and was kind of interested in medical school during that time. Decided to pursue and went to medical school back in Dallas where my family lived at UT Southwestern. Um, my first exposure to orthopedics was while doing research at Texas Scottish Rite Hospital for Children in Dallas. And a lot of my journey was really um, a direct impact from really good mentors I had throughout my training. And I was really lucky. And so I worked with a really great pediatric orthopedic surgeon while I was there. It was also the first time I ever scrubbed a case and fell in love with it. I still remember following the fellow around and doing clinical exams and just thought it was the coolest thing that he could localize a lesion by just doing a clinical exam. Then later on, I ended up going to residency at Oregon Health and Science in Portland. I loved my time there. And again, I had amazing mentors who really was encouraging. And that's how I got into hand surgery. I really loved all the specialties, especially arthroplasty, sports, and I really had a hard time picking one. And hand was perfect because you could do all those things, plus trauma, microvascular, tendon nerve repairs, and it's never boring, and something is always something new, exciting. And that's how I ended up at UAB doing my hand fellowship and stayed on as faculty, and I've been here since 2018. I think as a woman, you're always going to face some challenges and, judgment from other people, whether overt or kind of, more subversive. And it's just inevitable. People are just going to judge, and the worst part is sometimes you listen to it long enough and it becomes a part of your own voice in your head telling you, oh, you're not good enough. They probably think you're taking too much time off, things like that. And when that happens, I try to take a step back and look at the big picture and refocus what my priorities are. And that helps to calm down some of the noises. At the end of the day, nobody is living your life, and you got to make the. I think as a woman, you're always going to face some challenges and, judgment from other people, whether overt or kind of, more subversive. And it's just inevitable. People are just going to judge, and the worst part is sometimes you listen to it long enough and it becomes a part of your own voice in your head. I think really explore deeply and shadow, but not just shadow for a couple of hours here and there, but really do it in a long, take a whole week, follow the residents, go with them when they're on call, start at the beginning of the day at 5 a.m. and see what they have to do and don't get off until they are fully done. And if you're still excited by the end of it, and if you can imagine yourself doing that long term, then I think that gives you a lot more information. It's really easy to see the, shiny, nice things about surgery. It's really cool doing what we do. And I remember when I was a medical student, my mentor just seemed so, they know everything and they have their life all put together. And we don't see all the difficult parts. And so sitting down with, the resident or the attending and just asking what is challenging, and really try to get into the nitty gritty will help you make a decision.
Yes.
And I would say also explore non-surgical fields as well, because you never know. I think, some of us are hell-bent on one field and then they don't realize what else is out there. I don't. I don't think balance really exists. I describe it like I'm spinning plates and I've got so many plates that I'm spinning all the time, that inevitably one or two will fall and break. And so it's going to be sometimes I focus a little bit more on family, sometimes I focus a little bit more on career, and I really, really depend on the support I have around me. My family, my friends, hired help. I can't do it on my own. And that's one misconception too, is that women surgeons do it all and they can do it all so well, but they don't. Everybody needs help, and that's how we keep the wheels turning. A favorite bone? I'd probably say the scaphoid. I mean, I'm a hand surgeon, so I have to say a ham bone, because of just how tricky the anatomy and the blood supply. And I think it's just amazing that we can put a screw through something like that. Yeah, that would be what I would pick. Well, thank you so much for having me. This was very fun. And of course, for anyone else who's, thinking about surgery, don't hesitate to reach out to your networks. It's tough to find a woman mentor, especially when I was a medical student. Most of my mentors were men, and I was really lucky to have them. But organizations like Women in Surgery or surgical interest groups are a really great way to reach out, or just cold calling. You never know. Someone may have a minute or two and give you advice that's invaluable.